And Firebird football is officially back here at Lakota West. Look, it'll be Mason tonight. The Mason Comets, they like to say they're undefeated. They are 5-0 in the GMC. They have a 5-1 record after taking a loss to Lincoln in week 1, 9-7. But this game will determine sole ownership of the GMC for now, potentially who ends up taking that GMC title. As you see on the screen here, 7 p.m. is what we are scheduled to kick off at. Just under 3 minutes now on the clock. And joining us up in the booth today, a new face, Grant Hageman, our normal analyst, unable to be with us today. So welcome to the broadcast, Lucas Moody. How are you feeling for your first broadcast?
Yes, thank you for the introduction, Nick. I'm feeling very excited, very confident in this broadcast. I'm so hyped for this game. We got a big game, too, undefeated GMC teams. We got Mason, Lakota West.
Yeah, and it should be a good one indeed. Obviously, lots on the line. Both teams coming in with energy. But I don't think you can beat the amount of energy that Lakota West is headed into this game with. I mean, it has been a huge day around the school. The Today Show, obviously, here in the morning. The day ended with the homecoming pep rally. And it is Neon Day here for the West student section. And I don't think I've seen better numbers out of them all year.
It's crazy how many people are in construction vests out there. It really is staggering how many people we can get to join behind this amazing football team that we have. And a lot of it is thanks to our Red Sea leaders who have been absolute inspirations and really getting the crowd going.
All right, so you can see both teams coming out for the kickoff. It will be West kicking it away to the Comets to begin this game. It'll be the southpaw kicker, Tyler Bond, out to boot this one away and get homecoming week underway for our Firebirds. They look to continue their dominant undefeated stretch, go 7-0, and be Mason's first GMC loss. As we see the ball officially put on the tee. The sun setting now over the away student section stands, so we can see this kickoff.
And Tyler is going to be kicking with the winds here for this first kickoff because the wind is blowing currently north to south. So let's see how far he can kick it.
The left leg of Tyler Bond, very powerful indeed as he gets that one up into the setting sun. They'll let it bounce. And Mason going to start on the 20-yard line after a touchback. So we'll see this Lakota West dominant defense. They've been dominant all year long. And obviously there have been a few stars to kind of be that X factor to make them such a dominant force all year, one of which being Jacob Asbeck, who heads into today with 6.5 sacks.
Yeah, another player that's also been a huge inspiration for this defense team is Michael Brandkamp, who's been huge for this defense's Lakota West defense.
So we'll see Mason trot out onto the field. Now they'll take their first crack at the offensive side of the ball. 12 minutes on the clock to begin the ball game. So we'll see them line up under center. It'll be a handoff up the middle, sticking with the run game early against this West defense. He's able to power for quite a bit out of it.
Yeah, the offensive line for Mason was able to make a really nice gap, and that running back was able to just go straight through.
So they will give him a first down on the play. He was able to push for it. So we do see Larson Brown, the man coming out at quarterback for the Comets. We weren't sure who was going to head into this game. It seems like they've had two choices to go with at quarterback so far this year. They kind of switched halfway through the year, but it will be Brown, the man under center, leading this Mason squad. As we see the pitch back, handoff to the left side, instantly brought down by multiple Firebirds. One of those Firebirds, Mike Brandkamp, we just talked about him leading the charge there on that tackle for loss.
Yeah, that was a very impressive defensive play there. They're really able to just get those linebackers and cornerbacks and really just break through that left side of the offensive line there.
2nd and 10 officially, so they will say he did fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Mason moving a little bit slower than we've seen so far. And it will be a 2nd and 13 officially. We do apologize, a little bit of miscommunication between the chains and the scoreboard once again. So we'll see the snap taken by Brown, handoff up the middle. And it looks like he makes a push to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and we will see a 3rd and long out of this Mason offense here early on.
Yeah, and so far West is playing, they're playing like they're not playing for the pass. They're playing a lot of run defense here. They're really having a lot of people on the offensive line and a lot of people as linebackers. So looks like West is not expecting Mason to pass much, at least in this first drive.
seems like a lot of teams have elected to go with that run against this West defense so far this year. Mason seems to be sticking to it and leaning on it pretty heavily here on this first drive. We'll see the ball spotted 3rd and 9 officially. Now under 10 minutes to play in the first quarter. See the snap taken by Brown in the shotgun. Under pressure, and he will be brought down. Multiple Firebirds on the sack. That'll be Jacob Asbeck getting back there along with Micah Markley to get that sack on Mason to force that 4th down and quite some distance, as Mason now going to be bringing out the punting unit to start their first drive off with a kick away to Brennan Remy, who is now back deep for the Lakota West Firebirds.
Yeah, and that was a brilliant blitz by West, having one of their linebackers break straight through the line there.
Snap is up, punting away. A fairly short kick, fair caught by Brennan Remy, just up past the 50-yard line, maybe into Mason Comet's territory at the 49, and on out comes the Lakota West offense. The offense been a pretty powerful unit all year long, head by senior quarterback Mitch Bolden.
Yeah, we were able to talk to Coach Bolden before the game, and he really wants to be aggressive on this first drive, is really striving for a touchdown here. So let's see what Mitch Bolden can do and see if they can lead their team to a first drive touchdown.
So some of the personnel out for Lakota West, Trent Lloyd, and that'll be Brennan Remy out to the left side. Bolden, the only man in the backfield, out in shotgun, takes the snap. Under pressure from his left side, able to dump it off to Trent Lloyd. Trent Lloyd across the 35, brought down near the 30-yard line. On the coverage for Mason, that was number 3, J.C. Deaton.
Yeah, and that was a nice kind of like curl route there for Trent. So basically, he was able to just be there by the line, and Bolden saw that he was getting rushed, and as soon as he saw that linebacker come up to him, he was able to dump a nice pass off to Trent Lloyd there.
They are able to drag him down, but not after he moves those chains, picks up a first down on the first play of the ball game. Coach Bolden did say he was looking to start this game off with a couple of big hitting offensive plays here early, as that Bolden pass is going to find Brennan Remy. He's able to wiggle his way into the red zone at about the 20-yard line, and it looks like that'll be another Lakota West first down.
Yeah, and we talk about Coach Bolden wanting to be aggressive. He had 5 receivers there, and you could see Mason responding by adding extra defensive backs. But that is very aggressive to start off with, I believe, 3 people on that right side there.
Lakota West once again going to this pass game as Bolden, the only man in the backfield, out in shotgun. 3 plays, 3 passes as Bolden looks deep. Under pressure, pocket collapses, and he's not able to escape. He'll be brought down by multiple Mason Comets, one of them being Aaron Spears, able to get back there from Bolden's blind side.
Yeah, and that just looked to be good pass protection there from Mason. He's had the only rush forward, and we're still able to get to him.
So we do have a bit of a chain malfunction here. Can't quite see the distance officially, so we do apologize for that. It will be a 2nd and 16, we do believe, up here. You'll see Giovanni Wilson, the man in motion, over to the right side. Bolden on the boot pass. Out to his right, looks to throw, under pressure, evades. Gonna try and scramble with it, maybe gets about 2 out of it before being brought down by Liam Green.
Yeah, it looks to be just another unfortunate play where the defense was able to break their offensive line with only rushing 4. So it looks like that offensive line may want to step up a little bit here to make this a competitive game.
It looked like they were starting off strong early as far as pass protection goes, but on the past 2 plays, lots of pressure from that Mason Comets defensive front. That defense has been the strength for them all year thus far. The offense not exactly pulling its weight on this deal, as we see once again heavy blitz from the Mason Comets. That was Jacob Bates able to get back there with the pressure, and Bolden just not able to escape it. So we will see a 4th and long, back-to-back potential sack plays, really back-to-back, but Bolden just not able to break away off of any of the broken plays. But we will see Tyler Bond, the southpaw kicker, trying to put one through the uprights here and escape with 3 points on this first drive of the ball game.
All right, so here we go. Bond kicking with the wind here.
The snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is up, and Bond got absolutely all of it as it sails right through the uprights, well over the crossbar. So Lakota West going to start with a 3-0 lead, 6:16 on the clock. That was a 45-yarder, 1 yard shy of his career-long 46 that we saw last week. We will take a quick break, but we'll be right back with a lot more action in this homecoming week game. West with a 3-0 lead early on. And we are back, 3-0 our score. Your Firebirds able to jump on top of the Comets early after a 45-yard Tyler Bond field goal. And speak of the devil, he'll be back out to boot this one away to the Mason Comets. Last time 3 and out on their first offensive drive of the ball game. That West defensive front looking to hold strong once again. Place kick from Bond is up. And it'll fly through the back of the end zone. Mason not going to make an effort to return it. So we'll once again see the powerful force that is the West defense return to the field against what has been a slow Mason Comets offense over the past few weeks.
And I'm really curious to see what Lakota West is going to do here, if they're going to play more of a pass defense or do what they did in the first drive and do a run defense, which worked out very well for them. So it looks like we're going to get a look here.
Yeah, Mason, as well as other GMC opponents, electing to run the ball a little bit more recently, keep Lakota West on their toes, keep the clock running. They know they can't get that ball back in the hands of Mitch Bolden and the offense very quickly. They have to eat as much time as they can, and it looks like that will be exactly the game plan for Mason. See the drive start. That's a handoff instantly stuffed by the West defensive line at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Yeah, that was nice. Those linebackers there for West, they were able to wait back there, wait for the running back, see which direction he went. As soon as the running back tried to break through that offensive and defensive line, the linebackers just got right in there and tackled him.
Mason breaks the huddle. It'll be Larson Brown, the senior 6'3", 200 quarterback, leading the way. We did mention that quarterback switch that Mason has had during this season. Dylan Lane, the man in motion, cuts back to the left side. It'll be handoff, cut to the right side, able to get quite a bit out of it. Dives for the first down marker, not quite able to get there. That'll be Micah Markley once again making the play for Lakota West. We'll see where that ball gets spotted. And it looks like they're going to be moving those chains. From our angle, it appeared that he would be short, but indeed Mason is able to pick up their first down of the ball game and keep the chains moving against this West defense. Mason breaks the huddle, lines up quickly. It'll be Brown, the man under center, handoff up the middle, hit by multiple Firebirds. That's Brankamp and Hartford able to stuff that run at the line of scrimmage, if not a yard behind the line of scrimmage. We'll see where that ball gets spotted. It looks like they're going to say he did push initially to get 2 yards, but they were eventually able to drive him back, so we will see a 2nd and 8.
Yeah, and Mason in the I formation there, and pretty obviously telling, hey, West, we're going to run the ball. So it looks like West was able to pick up on that and get a nice tackle for, I think, either 1 or 0 yards there.
See Mason line up after the 2-yard rush. We do want to note that Malik Hartford is playing in this game after a controversial play last week. As speak of the devil, able to get in that play and break up the pass. That was number 1, Malik Hartford. That pass intended for Braden Greer, incomplete, instantly shot down by Malik Hartford.
Yeah, and that was just a great read. He was really good at reading the quarterback's eyes there. Was able to get in between the receiver and the ball and knock that one down.
So we will now see another 3rd and long from this Mason offensive unit. Not quite 3rd and 10. It will still be 3rd and 8 after the 2-yard rush to begin the new set of downs. We'll see Braden Greer, the leading receiver for this Mason Comets team, 327 yards heading into today. That'll be Brown taking the snap, able to dump it off. Not quite to the first down. I do believe he was about a yard short. That was Nicholas Sailors with that ball on the play. We'll see where they spot it. Those chains do look like they're moving. It didn't look like a first down from our angle, but indeed they will give him the first down, so maybe a generous spot for these Mason Comets as they just keep it moving.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate play for West. Looks like they were expecting pass, and, well, it was definitely not a pass. It was a run, and that just really threw them off guard, and they were able to get a first down there.
Larson Brown in shotgun to begin the new set. Out to his left, looks deep on the play, and that'll be incomplete. Josh Fussell, the man in coverage for the Firebirds, able to get in there and break up the play, and we'll see a 2nd and 10. Josh Fussell, one of these guys in the secondary, one of the many with D1 offers. He is currently verbally committed to the University of Northwestern. One of those guys you really don't want to throw to, but when your secondary is full of those D1 guys, you got to pick one eventually. Brown under center. It will be another handoff instantly fended off by the West defensive line. Gabriel Flores, one of those guys getting in there, plugging those holes. And not much of anything on that play for Mason, as they will have yet another 3rd and long. They converted last time. We'll see what they draw up here.
Yeah, and that's just another play where Mason stacked that offensive line there, really basically told West, hey, we're going to run the ball.
We do see the referees conferring, not quite sure about what. There was no flag, I do believe, on the play. Not quite sure what they're talking about, but when we have an update, we will get it to you. Currently 3:22 on the clock in the first quarter. West up 3-0 after a Tyler Bond 45-yarder. Looks like they're pointing to that West end zone. And they eventually break their huddle. Not quite sure what that was. They are looking over at the Mason sideline now. And now they are talking with Coach Bolden. Both teams in their huddle right now. Not quite sure what the delay is, but it looks like we will get the play on the move. And I do believe it was a game clock discussion, so we do see that clock now move. It was moved to 3:16, as now that continues to tick down. Mason going to come out 3rd and long. They picked it up last time. Can they do it here? Larson Brown in shotgun with a back out to his right. Takes a snap, looks to his left, looks to his right, throws deep. That's Drew Minnick in the coverage. And did he come down with the interception? That is Ben Minnick, his brother, the Notre Dame commit. He's able to fight his way into that play, and he ends up picking off that ball along that Mason Comet sideline. So chalk it up, the first turnover of the day for these Firebirds. Ben Minnick able to get in there and cause some havoc. It's Firebirds football.
Yeah, Minnick, the safety there, really just comes over, gets a really nice interception. You can kind of see that brotherly bond a little bit in that play. I kind of need to see how it was great coverage by his brother, and Ben really just finished off that play with a big interception for West.
We will see Bolden return in the shotgun. It'll be Gonzalez, the man to his right. We will see a jet sweep handoff. That's Trent Lloyd towards the west sideline. Able to get a little bit out of it, not too much. Got about 4 on the carry for Trent. Trent Lloyd, one of those guys that's become a bit more involved with that rushing game over the past few weeks. We did speak with coaches down on the field before the game about that, especially that offensive line. Coach Key, he's done an incredible job with this offensive line so far this year, and he spoke about that increase in the run game. A lot of that, it is on the offensive line, but Trent Lloyd, especially coming back from injury, has done an incredible job as well. Bolden play action pass. Fakes the handoff to Gonzalez, hits Trent Lloyd across the middle of the field. Able to get it up to the Firebirds' 45-yard line, knocking on the door of Comets territory.
Yeah, and West had a lot of receivers there out wide, and Mason did notice this and added a lot more defensive backs to the play, only rushing 1 linebacker, but it does not appear to work for them as we got a very nice gain there down the middle of the field.
Under now 2 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. Bolden and Gonzalez once again in the backfield, the dynamic duo we've been seeing all year. we will see our first real handoff of the game. We did see that jet sweep handoff to Trent Lloyd. This is the first one to the running back Gonzalez, and it is not going to go anywhere. It was Kai Woolfolk on the tackle for the Mason Comets.
Yeah, and the linebackers were able to break through the line there very nicely and tackle Gonzalez there.
See Bolden in the offense line up once again. Time ticking down in the first quarter, nearly down to a minute. Bolden with the snap, goes play action again. Looks to fire, pocket collapsing, evades. To his right, cuts back to his left, then he's finally brought down. That'll be number 21, Jacob Bates, once again getting back there. He pressured Bolden earlier, never came down with a sack, but there he finally gets one, dragging down Bolden about a yard shy of where they started at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, this Mason defense is really picking apart this Lakota West offensive line here to start the game off. I don't know how Lakota West is going to be able to fix this issue, but if we don't fix it soon, then Bolden's going to be taking a lot more hits.
We talk about the student section every week. It's been a little bit of a competition up here comparing some of these teams. Mason by far the best showing, and they are loud. That is one packed student section. Bolden once again under pressure, looks to escape up the middle, able to fight for a few, about to the 49-yard line. So West not able to move the chains. We'll see another fourth down.
Yeah, and on that play, Bolden did seem to have the time, but the coverage was very, very good from the Mason secondary, and just a very impressive. Got the pocket to collapse on Bolden, where he had to run forward and just tackled him.
So that will be the end of the first quarter. Another 12 minutes put on the clock. We still got a second quarter of play ahead of us, so be sure to stick with us. We'll take a quick break, but we'll be right back momentarily. Your Firebirds up 3-0 over the Mason Comets. And we are back 3-0 our score. The Firebirds leading the Mason Comets 3-0. A 45-yard Tyler Bond field goal, the only points on the board, and they are in Lakota West's favor. As the sides of the field are now flipped, but it will be Lakota West punting it away to the Mason Comets. And it looks like it's a fake punt. Ben Minnick finds a hole. He's going to run with it. Is he going to get the first? He does by quite a bit. So a fake punt works to Lakota West's benefit. Ben Minnick able to come away with it. And there is a penalty marker down on the field. We'll see what the call is.
And the penalty flag looked to be thrown in complete open field where there wasn't anybody. So I'm really curious to see what this call is here.
And it will be going against the Mason Comets. I do believe that is defensive holding we are seeing. We have not got a signal, and indeed it will be. So the penalty declined. Ben Minnick on the fake punt, able to pick up the first down. I mean, Ben Minnick, one of these athletes, we've been talking about him all year. He seems to do everything for this Firebirds team, punting included, and there he didn't exactly do the punting, but he did the running on the fake punt, and he's able to work with what he's got.
Yeah, it's insane to have a player that's able to run the ball as well as Ben Minnick and punt the ball. The Mason thinks he's, just a normal punt by Ben Minnick. No, he takes that snap and instantly shoots off. Great blocking by the offensive line. He's able to get that first down. Let's see if West can do anything with that.
And it looked like when he started, he took that ball, kind of stepped over to the side. It looked like at first maybe he was giving the Gunners a little bit of time, so even then he probably caught Mason off guard when he started running with it. But, I mean, what doesn't he do? Punting, receiving, defensive back. He had an interception just a few moments ago, and now he's running fake punts. But we will see Bolden back out. That'll be the pass to Trent Lloyd on the sideline. Spins his man to the 25, fights inside nearly to the 20. West knocking on the door of the red zone here early in quarter number 2. In coverage for the Comets, that is Caden Davis. Ends up making the tackle on Trent Lloyd, but not after he's able to work his way well downfield.
And that's a super impressive play by the West offense there. A nice play action And as you see, Trent Lloyd is going to run a curl route. And as soon as Lloyd turns around, that ball is already there for him. Catches it, is able to break the one defensive back covering him. And he gets like a huge gain, like around 20 yards.
So we'll see a fresh first down for Bolton and the offensive crew. Ball spotted at around the 22.5-ish yard line. Bolton takes a snap, sticking with the pass game, looks to throw, pump fake, looks deep for the end zone. Jump ball, that is caught! Brendan Remy able to make the jumping catch in the back of the end zone, right along that back line. An incredible play, and that'll be 6 points for the Firebirds offense. They get their first touchdown of the ball game.
Yeah, that offensive line gave Bolton great protection, great protection there. Was able to basically allow a wide receiver to get open. As soon as one did, Brandon Remy, boom, throws in there for a touchdown. Impressive play by the offensive line, the quarterback, and Brandon Remy there.
Tyler Bond, the first few points of the game, able to make it 3-0. Now after Brennan's incredible touchdown pass, Brennan's incredible touchdown catch and Bolden's incredible touchdown pass. There it is, the extra point up, and it is good. So 10-0, our score now stands. Lakota West increasing their lead over the Mason Comets. We'll be right back in a few. We got a lot more action ahead of us, so be sure to stay tuned. Ten to nothing, our score now stands. Mitch Bolden to Brennan Remy. The connection continues to stay hot. Bolden able to find Remy along the back of the end zone, and our score now stands 10-0. The Firebirds over the Comets. Both teams undefeated in the GMC, so this is a very big matchup, not just for these two teams, but for the GMC as a whole. Of course, with a win here, West already beat Princeton. They would beat Mason here to take sole ownership, and then they'd have to turn their attention to Princeton next week. As this kick is up and well away for Tyler Bond, taken at about the 2 or 3 yard line. So a bit of trickeration. They're going to hand off the ball. Not really working to Mason's benefit. They get tackled around the 12-yard line. Not quite sure what we just saw. A very confusing return play. If he would have ran with it, he had room, but they gather about 4 players together and hand it off. So tackled around the 12. Great field position for the West defense.
I think what they were trying to do there was confuse Lakota West, like which of us has the ball. But that didn't work at all. And what it actually allowed was West to break through those blocks, get straight to the person who actually took the ball. And they're starting in very, very poor field position here.
Larson Brown, once again, the man going to come out for Mason to lead this offense. Takes a snap. They're going to stick with the run game up the middle, about a yard or two, finally brought down by a pack of Firebirds.
Yep, and there is just another very predictable run play. They got 2 wide receivers on the right side of the field, running back behind the quarterback, and what else are you going to do but run it there in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying it all night long, these GMC teams sticking with that run game. I almost think at this point the key, if you want to try and beat these Firebirds, is unpredictability. Not running it up the middle, because it seems like this defense catching on to it, especially when you have that talent, they're going to eventually. And Mason finding that one out the hard way here early on in the second quarter. See Braden Greer, the man in motion, but there is a flag down. And that'll be on the defense, so it will be offsides or neutral zone, one of the two. We weren't quite sure which one that is. I do believe that was a neutral zone infraction from up here. We talk about it every week. This record with the refs, not too great. It's a competition between us and the Zebras every week, but we try and figure it out the best we can. Larson Brown in shotgun. Takes a snap, handoff up the middle. Ball carrier Weston Simmons. And will take it up the middle. Lots of West tacklers able to eventually bring him down. And I do believe, depending on where they spot that, he was shy of the first down marker. And indeed, it will be third down. So third and short Ball on the 21, maybe 20.5-yard line.
Yeah, and for that one, West was able to bring in a lot of offensive linemen and a lot of linebackers, and just able to really break up the defensive line, let the linebackers come through, tackle that for maybe a gain of 1 or 2, was it?
3rd and 2 officially on the field. It'll be Larson Brown under center. Handoff up the middle to the power back. Pushes for it. Did they get it? It seems like Lakota West thinks they got that stop. We'll see where the ball spotted officially. Lakota West seems to think they had that one, but the chains will move, so a first down for the Comets.
Yeah, it's very interesting play call there from the Comets. They ran all 3 plays of that first down, second down, and third down there, and they're all straight down the middle. So we talked about trying to be unpredictable against these Firebirds. They're doing the complete opposite of that so far. So
it's predictable, but I guess in fairness, it is working on that drive. We'll see yet another handoff up the middle. Not going to go for much, maybe about a yard on the carry.
And it looks like they're kind of playing the thing, well, if we get 4 yards a run each play, that's going to be a first down each drive, and ultimately should end to a touchdown. So it looks like they're being very passive so far. You know, they're not trying to lose the ball, not trying to have another interception probably. And yeah, they're keeping to that very stacking a lot of players on the line. And we'll see if they continue to do this.
You do bring up a good point, that interception. Maybe making those Comet coaches a little bit wary of throwing that ball. We did see a switch in the quarterbacks earlier this year. We'll see yet another handoff to the right side of the field towards that Mason sideline. Not going to go anywhere. We did see Jacob Asbeck, one of those defensive leaders, get in there, one of the guys on that tackle.
And at this point, if you see the Comets line up in a I formation, West is thinking, this is a run, this is a run, this is a run. Able to break straight through that offensive line, and a nice tackle there by, it looks like, number 14 and number 11.
So it is kind of football 101, so you think teams would pick up on it, but obviously when you run the ball, you do set up that play-action pass. So we will see if they maybe switch back to the pass game through that play action later on. See the snap taken by Brown. Out to his right, ball is tipped. No Firebird there to come up with the interception, but it will fall to the turf for 4th down.
Yeah, and on that 3rd and 10, it looks like West brought the blitz off to make sure about that. Okay, so they rushed 5, and they were able to, actually no, it was a blitz, and they were able to break straight through the line, get a nice deflection there.
So we'll see 4th and 10, 7:13 on the clock in the second quarter. Lots of pressure on that punt from the Firebirds defense, but they are able to get that one off. They're going to let the punt roll past the 35 to about the 32 of Firebirds territory. So Lakota West going to come out pretty decent field position around the 32-yard line. They'll have a 1st and 10 and plenty of time to work in the half. Ten to nothing, still our score. Now 7 minutes flat to go in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for the Firebirds after the Mason Comets kicked that one away. Do have a late personnel change for the Firebirds. It'll be Scotty Johnson running out onto the field. The Giovanni Wilson in the backfield with Mitch Bolden. Takes a snap, fakes the handoff. Bolden with all day to throw, looks deep. Brendan Remy tipped by the Mason defender. That was J.C. Deaton getting back there, able to get a hand on the pass. Would have been a big completion for the Firebirds offense. That Bolden to Remy connection, it's been working all season. It's been working today. It's brought him 7 points so far.
Yeah, and Mason there didn't have many defensive backs in the field. And Bolden saw that, saw an opportunity to get a very deep pass off to Remy, and it was barely tipped by, looked like, the cornerback there from Mason.
We'll see now 2nd and 10 after the disappointing stop from that Mason defense. Could have been something big. It'll be Giovanni Wilson, the man running with the ball towards the west sideline. Fights off quite a few guys, but all for naught as he's able to work his way back to the line of scrimmage. maybe a little bit more on the carry. About 3 yards officially, I believe, is where they're going to spot that. So we'll see about a 3rd and 7 on the way.
Yeah, that outside handoff did not really work there for West. The concept there was trying to stack a bunch of wide receivers on that right side where Ramey was running to, get some nice blocks. But unfortunately, the Mason defense is able to break straight through those blocks and get a tackle for very few yards.
So we'll see Brennan Ramey towards the west sideline, the man closest to our camera. Bolden takes the snap, play action, takes the handoff to Junior Gonzalez, picked off. That is Kai Wolfolk on the interception for Mason. They're able to return it to the 40-yard line, back to where the line of scrimmage for West was. And that Mason sideline going absolutely crazy. So an unfortunate turn of events for the West offense and an incredible momentum shift if you're this Mason defense.
Yeah, and there the cornerbacks and safeties of Masons really did their job there, and that forced Bolden to throw to that short slant route. And the linebacker just was able to break up that pass, get the interception. Although it did look like he made a little bit of contact with the receiver. I don't think that was going to be picked up by refs, but maybe something to look on to or look for.
So now Mason well inside Lakota West territory. They have a first down marker placed at the 20-yard line. They were able to get the ball to the 30 on the return. We'll see yet another handoff, about 5 on the play, brought down by multiple Lakota West Firebirds.
Yep, and that's another I formation.
I mentioned every time they run out of that, they seem to run the ball right up the middle. And to their credit, I mean, it's been working. I mean, they've picked up about half of the chains, maybe 3 yards, 4 yards. I mean, it seems to be working pretty well. West able to stop it a little bit earlier on, but it seems like now as the game goes on, maybe a little bit less efficient, as backwards as that may be. See the West defense shift around a little bit before coming set. Handoff up the middle. Able to work for quite a bit, able to pick up the first and a little bit more.
You know, we talk about how this run game is working for Mason.
Or sorry, it will be the 3rd down, not quite to the 20-yard line.
But I'm not going to lie, these handoffs are kind of making it not boring, but a little bit of an unexciting game because, you know, we really like to see those big passes and those big plays. But like I mentioned earlier, I think Mason is a little scared after that amazing interception by the Minnick brothers.
3rd and 1 officially. Did come up just shy of the line to gain. See Brown under center. Surprise, surprise. Handoff up the middle. They dive for it. And I don't think there's a doubt in anybody's mind that he did end up picking up that first down. So not only do they move the chains, but they are now in the red zone for the first time today. So the Comets knocking on the door of a potential score.
Yeah, and the linebackers are able to break through the line here, but by the time they do, the running back's already like 2 yards downfield. So it's not very helpful, but we're going to hope that Lakota West can learn and start making some big stops on these run plays.
Brown the man under center. There was a jump from the Lakota West side of the line. And indeed, that will be either a neutral zone infraction, a neutral zone infraction or an encroachment. We can't quite tell if he made contact from our angle, but nonetheless, it will be a 5-yard penalty. 1st and 5 for the Comets, just shy of the Lakota West 10-yard line. We've been talking about discipline the past few weeks and how at times that can be the killer for Lakota West. This might be one of those drives we look back on after the game and talk about missed opportunities. We'll see a handoff there. Across the 10-yard line, nothing major, but quite a bit of a game.
And there also appear to be some fighting between 44 and 64 between West and Mason there. I don't know what that was about, but it was another run play. I think that's 10, 12 in a row now, maybe even higher.
That was Nick Sailors on the carry for the Mason Comets. Did mention a little bit of shoving. We saw some shoving last week. These refs seem to be a little bit more lenient. We saw the flag thrown pretty questionably very early on last week. Saw the ejection of Malik Hartford. We'll see yet another handoff there. Up the middle, able to get a few. Making a push for the first down marker. Did they get it? I do believe they do. So it will be a 1st and goal from about the 8-yard line of the Firebirds.
Yeah, that was some great blocking by the Mason offensive line there. Really kept those defensive linemen and linebackers at bay. Running back is able to go straight through that for a nice first down.
So it looks like actually a pretty generous spot around the 6 or 7 yard line. So gonna say he pushed a little bit more, gained that forward progress, as we'll see yet another handoff up the middle. West picks up on it this time, able to stuff it. He is able to power his way downfield for a couple of yards, nothing major.
Yep, and that was once again the I formation. And like you said, West was able to pick up on this one, get through that line, and was able to make a nice tackle there. And it looked like, yeah, a linebacker breaking through the defensive and offensive line there.
Mason still in the huddle, trying to draw up something that'll get them into the end zone. They are now inside the 5 yard line. See Brown, the man under center. No doubt a handoff is coming here. Indeed, it will be handoff up the middle. Making a push for the goal line. It doesn't look like he got it, and it will be a 3rd down.
And at this point in the game, with less than 2 minutes on the clock and both teams still having 3 timeouts, taking a timeout here by West may not be the worst decision. You know, see if they can get the timeout down, hold them, see if they can go back at a field goal with Bond, because we know he's been performing really excellently.
It is 3rd and 1. The 1 yard line, a goal situation for the Mason Comets. It is very loud here at Firebird Field. Our box up here is shaking. Handoff up the middle, that's Nick Sailors. And he's going to push his way across the goal line. Lakota West gives up their first touchdown in quite some time. There is a flag on the field, so the celebration stops for now. We'll see what the official call is.
And yeah, that was just another run. Basically, Mason running their way down the field. I do not believe there is a single pass play on that entire drive. But let's see what the call from the refs is here.
We do see the PAT unit heading out onto the field, so I would assume it would go against Lakota West and be declined. Have not seen them walk off the field. There is a conference over on the Mason sideline, and it does indeed look like they decline a penalty. So with 1:13 to go, we will see Mason attempt to boot this one up and away to make it a 10-7 ball game.
Yeah, and let's hope that Lakota West can go into their locker room and really get their run defense in shape here.
So we do want to note the penalty will be enforced on the kickoff after the touchdown. So Mason ready to boot it away. Stephen Collins, the man, to kick it through the uprights. And indeed, he gets it, so a 10-7 ball game. And we're going to take a quick step aside, so 10-7 our score. 1:13 for the Firebirds to work with when we get back. (10-7), our new score. Mason able to punch the ball across the goal line into the end zone. That was Nick Sailors able to pick up the 7 points for the Comets. So maybe a bit of a momentum shift before heading into the locker rooms at half, but West does have a minute 13 to try and put something on the board. We do want to note there was a 15-yard penalty on the scoring play, that now being assessed on the kickoff. So Mason will be place kicking it from the 45-yard line of West territory. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one goes out the back of the end zone.
And we talked about momentum before going into halftime is huge. That is one of the main reasons that the Bengals actually beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship with that huge stop on the 2-yard line. Just basically shifting the momentum and allowing the Bengals to win that game.
So we'll see the kick, low line drive, and it does bounce right into the end zone. Not sure if it was intentional from the Comets or not, but nonetheless, Lakota West going to start with the ball from the 20-yard line. They got 80 yards to go and a minute 13 to do it.
I really hope that Coach Bolden comes out super aggressive here. Like I said, only got a minute 13, so Let's see if they can go up into half, 17 points ahead here. Hopefully at the worst 13. But we may be able to get to see some nice long passes here, maybe to people like Ben Minnick, Trent Lloyd, some of their bigger receivers. So let's see.
We do want to note both teams have all 3 timeouts of the half remaining. So if West does well, we might see those used. If Mason's defense comes up big, we might see theirs used. Maybe try and get another offensive drive. See Bolden back to pass to start the drive, brought down instantly. I believe that was number 55, Bryce Falk, able to get back there and sack Bolden for a loss of about 3 or 4 yards. We'll see where the ball officially gets spotted. It'll be on the 18-yard line. Pretty generous spot for the Firebirds. The scoreboard is calling it 2nd and 12. Clock continues to run, 45 seconds. Bolden running a little bit of time after the sack before calling the snap. Taking his time in shotgun. Gonna run it up the middle, but he's instantly brought down. Wonderfully read by the Mason defense. They come up with a big-time stop, and it is 3rd from way downtown for Lakota West.
And that's just a very interesting play, in my opinion, by Lakota West. They line 4 receivers up and choose not to throw the ball. They instead choose to do a QB draw play, where he kind of like fakes a throw and then runs. And I don't know what their plan was there, but as we see, it did not work. And it looks like that was, nope, we got time for a couple more plays.
So we do want to note Mason did call a timeout on that play. They have 2 timeouts remaining in the half. They did come up with that big stop. 28 seconds remaining. They want to try and get the ball back before they head into the locker rooms.
Yeah, and if they could really take that much momentum into the locker room, West's going to have a hard time fighting that. So if that happens, we really need to see West shape up in the locker room, especially their run defense, which we've been talking about all game, because it appears that the only thing Mason's going to be doing on offense is running.
The momentum has definitely shifted. Mason's side of the field is absolutely shaking the place. But it is not 4th down, it is 3rd down. So West does have another play to try and move the chains and get out of the Mason red zone here. Maybe give Ben Minnick a little bit of room. Maybe see if he can pull off another fake punt. Who knows? Bolden definitely looking deep under pressure. Scrambles to his left, hits his own guy, Junior Gonzalez. The ball is out. Did Mason come up with that football? And that will be going Lakota West's way. So they fall on the ball. It will be 4th and very long.
And that was just like phenomenal pass coverage there from Mason. Mason only rushing 4. Not only was able to get to the quarterback, but was also able to hold off all the receivers from getting open. Mason's defense is really coming out strong here, and it's showing. So West has got to find a way to counter this. I don't know what they're going to do.
A lot of pressure, able to make it through that offensive line, and you can tell Bolden usually keeping his composure back there, but he ends up running into his own guy, Junior Gonzalez. One of the leaders of that pressure would be number 52, Aaron Spears, who's been an incredible force all night for this Comets defense. So that'll now bring up a 4th and 21. So it'll be Ben Minnick, the Notre Dame man, setting himself up to boot it away from the end zone. High, far kick to about the 50. Not going to be fair caught. Mason going to try to return it across the 40-yard line of Firebirds territory. Not quite to the 35, but we'll see a 1st and 10 for Mason with 9 seconds on the clock as there is a penalty flag thrown down on the field.
And I think it's probably going to be a holding on Mason, as that's what most penalties on kickoffs and punts are. But Mason only has 11 seconds here to try to get into field goal range. They are kicking with the wind, which is going to be very huge for them. So let's see if they can get into field goal range and possibly tie this game going into halftime, which would be very impressive for a team like Mason to tie the number 3 team in Ohio going into halftime.
A kick from this spot would be well over the high school record, so they do need some more yardage. So we do see it is a personal foul penalty, and that will be moving the Firebirds closer towards midfield. So Mason not going to have the great field position that they originally had on that return. So a bit of a break for the Firebirds, a little bit undisciplined from the Comets team.
And I'm watching the replay. I didn't see much. I saw that it could have been number 20, but it was a shove, yes.
That would be Nick Sailors. He did have that touchdown for the Comets a little earlier on, maybe a bit fired up, but he ended up costing his team big now as they need to cross that 50-yard line once again. We will see a deep pass. Brown throws it. That was Mike Brandkamp in the coverage for Lakota West, able to come down with the tackle at the West 45-yard line. Mason gonna hurry up with it, and that will be a timeout for the Mason Comets. They stop it. Right now they show 6 seconds. They might add a little bit more time to that, but that will be their final timeout of the half.
And that catch was actually by Nick Sailors. So if the personal foul was on Sailors, which I'm not 100% sure, looks like he just made that yardage right there back. And we are getting confirmation it was on Nick Sailors. It looked like he just tackled tackled one of the West players a little too far after the whistle was blown, and that's going to be called many times. It was actually called in the Bengals game last night against the tight end Hurst.
So momentum did seem to be shifting, but it seemed like Mason almost shooting themselves in the foot, driving themselves right back. They did not change the time on the game clock, so 6 seconds remain. They might as well take a shot at the end zone. I don't think you're going to break into field goal range, so I'd break out all the defensive backs if you're Lakota West.
Yeah, and I know I talk about the Bengals a lot, but this is, this will be a 55-yard field goal, just about Evan McPherson range here.
Unfortunately, in high school, there aren't too many of those. I believe the record is 51 yards. 2nd and 2 officially. Brown going to run out to his right under pressure, and he's finally going to be brought down. That was number 16, Cam Thomas, able to get back there, wreak havoc, and come up with the sack. So we're going to move into the locker rooms at halftime. Lakota West maintaining their lead. Mason is able to put a dent into it. We head into the locker rooms 10-7. Your Lakota West Firebirds on top of this undefeated GMC matchup. Still got a whole nother 24 minutes of action in the second half, so stick with us. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to stay with us for the third quarter where we will be giving away a $15 Buffalo Wings and Rings gift card. So a big thank you to Buffalo Wings and Rings of Westchester, and we hope you enjoy halftime and stay with us. We are officially back after the half. Lakota West currently on top of the Mason Comets, 10-7 our score heading into the final 24 minutes of play. It'll be Mason booting this one away. Lakota West to receive to begin this second half of play. And it should be a very fun one. Lots of adjustments needing to be made on both sides, but that's the fun of high school football, right? You go into those locker rooms, you come back out. It's a completely different world out there. I think we got a lot to talk about here, but let's see Mason kick this one away first. Lakota West back deep to receive this one. A fairly short one to the left sideline, well out of bounds. And that'll be an instant penalty. So Lakota West working with incredible field position to start the half.
Yeah, and let's hope that Lakota West has made some changes to their offense. See if they can get back on it. See if they can get their offensive line to keep the pressure away from Bolden. Get Bolden time to make some amazing passes like the touchdown to Rame. See if we can get a nice touchdown here on the first drive coming out of halftime.
So one of the things that we talked about in that first half is that Mitch Bolden constantly seemed to be under pressure. No doubt that offensive line coming back out ready to work. I mean, we saw some jokes on our YouTube chat. I had people texting me. I'm pretty sure Bolden broke a couple more of those chairs in the locker room. We can't confirm, we're not there, but I'd be willing to bet money that there were some more broken chairs. So we'll see Bolden come out in the shotgun to begin the first Lakota West offensive drive of the second half. See if they elect to continue to throw the ball. Will be a handoff. Ball is out. Ball intended for Trent Lloyd, and that just got popped by the Mason defense.
Yeah, luckily, Bolden was able to recover that.
Yeah, Lakota West able to fall on it. They are significantly backed up, but hey, at least they fall on the ball. That got absolutely lit up behind the line of scrimmage. Bolden and Trent Lloyd just not able to get anything going there. Mason bringing the pressure yet again.
Yeah, and once again, Mason only rushed forward, but one of the offensive linemen lost their bounding. Mason went straight through, just got to the quarterback.
So we see Trent Lloyd, the man in motion, heading over to the Mason sideline. Bolden looks to throw, finds Trent Lloyd. All the work to the line of scrimmage. Originally just a little bit shy of it, maybe about a yard or two, but he is able to get a little bit of the loss of yards back.
Yeah, that Mason defensive line is looking really impressive. Just collapsing that pocket nearly instantaneously, making Bolden throw it off very quickly. Actually, the pocket was actually pretty open for him. Bolden probably had some extra time here, which is honestly one of the problems that Bolden sometimes has to have. He gets a little scared sometimes about the pocket collapsing on him, and he likes to either scramble too soon or get the ball off prematurely. It actually does appear that he had more time, maybe let some of the receivers downfield get open for a bigger gain.
A third and very long. Both sidelines are making noise. Bolden looks to throw. Lots of time on this play. He's going to evade towards the west sideline. His left throws it deep downfield. That's Trent Lloyd. Caught to the 30. He's got room to run to the 25. Toe tapping along the sideline to the 20. Past the 20 to the red zone. He did end up stepping out of bounds. We heard a whistle. Not quite sure where they're going to put it. But a big flip of field position. Bolden able to find Trent Lloyd, who's able to work his way down that Lakota West sideline.
And the offensive line did a great job there, giving Bolden time, letting those receivers get open. I do want to mention, not to hate on Bolden, that was an amazing pass and catch. Scotty was open. Scotty Johnson was open fair bit of time before the pass, but we got an amazing yardage there.
This one is a jet sweep handoff to Trent Lloyd. Trent Lloyd getting the ball once again, gets about 8 or 9. That one not instantly popped behind the line of scrimmage, and you can see what happens when you get the ball in his hands with a little bit of time.
I see, and Bolden even did a little fake throw there. You know, try to trick the defense just that little bit more, because really football is a game of seconds, tenths of seconds, hundredths of seconds, and getting that little bit of reaction time from the defense that, oh no, he's going to throw the ball, can really make a difference.
We'll see 2nd and 4 officially, so Trent Lloyd stopped a little bit earlier than we thought he was. Looked like from our angle he was able to push for a little bit more. We'll see that screen to the right side. That's Giovanni Wilson able to come down with the ball across the 10-yard line. We'll see a 1st and goal to go for the Firebirds.
And I don't know who that block was, but there was a great block on, I believe, probably one of the West wide receivers that was allowed the ball carrier there to get open, get into open field, and turn that small pass into some big yardage.
You see 1st and goal to go. Ball officially spotted on the 8-yard line, so the scoreboard reads 1st and 8. See Lakota West swap a little bit of personnel. A big few plays coming up if you are the Lakota West Firebirds. This is a score you absolutely need to have to shift momentum back in your favor. So you see the throw from Bolden across the field to Trent Lloyd, incomplete, very contested throw.
Yeah, and the play action didn't work there, really. I don't think Mason was really fooled. I think Mason was pretty sure they were going to pass this play. So the play action didn't really work much, and you saw how the cornerback was able to break up that throw relatively easily.
So now 2nd and 8 to the goal line. We'll see what Bolden and the West offense is able to draw up here. It'll be Bolden in shotgun. Junior Gonzalez, the man to his right. We see Wilson and Ben Minnick closer to us on that West sideline. We see Remy and Lloyd on the Mason sideline. Bolden passes with time, able to find Trent Lloyd across the goal line inside the pylon. That's a Lakota West touchdown. A much-needed Lakota West touchdown as there go the lights at Firebird Field, and this crowd has not been louder all night. Trent Lloyd able to punch it in for 6 more.
Yeah, that was just a really nice play from West there. They really brought a lot of wide receivers, and Trent had this amazing move, juked out the cornerback covering him, was able to get open, make an amazing touchdown there.
So we'll see Tyler Bond, the man now out here to look to make it 17-7, get back up to that 10-point lead. And it looks like we're going to have a bit of a fake here. That pass is going to go to Tyler Bond. Can he get inside for 2? He drops the ball. No good.
That was the most interesting play I've seen Lakota West run in my high school career of being at Lakota West. They had a fake snap, or sorry, a fake PAT, and then they passed it to their kicker. Very interesting. I've never seen that before. The kicker, obviously, being a kicker, probably doesn't have too much ball carrying experience, and very unfortunately for West, does end up dropping the ball. Luckily, it doesn't become a fumble, but very interesting play call there from West, and Mason read it pretty decently.
So we'll see Lakota West come out now, get set to kick it off away to the Mason Comets. Our score now stands 16-7. Unfortunately, no extra point. They try to do a little bit of trickeration, get that 2, make it an 8-point game. Or sorry, it would be more than an 8-point game. It would be an 11-point game. So they look to make it 2 possession, but maybe not worth it.
Yeah, I just hope that Tyler Bond is not too out of breath here, is able to get this kick away good as usual. But I'm sure he will. He's kicking with the wind, and he's been consistent all year. An amazing athlete, really.
So we'll see the Southpaw get ready to kick it away. Multiple Comets back deep. 9:37 on the clock in the 3rd quarter. And we are off. Bond boots it away high, recovered on the goal line. Mason going to take it out, and we do have a whistle. So that will be a touchback. Not quite sure where they called the touchback. Maybe they thought he called the fair catch on the goal line. An unusual whistle, but Mason going to have it on the 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, that was very interesting. The whistle usually means a flag, but no flags were thrown, so I don't know. This is a very interesting play. Like you said, I don't know where they might have saw the touchback, but Mason's got the ball on the 20, and let's see if they can do anything here.
So we'll see 1st and 10, the line to gain at the 30-yard line of Mason Comets territory. Once again, it'll be Larson Brown, the quarterback, out for Mason. They look to continue running it here up the middle, able to get a couple yards out of it.
Yep, and again, Mason's going to go back to that I formation, which if you don't know, quarterback lines up under center, 2 running backs behind him, wide receivers out, and a tight end close to the line. And I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't stop it. Like, it's working very well. And West really needs to get out of this mindset of they're going to pass, because they're not going to pass at this point. West really needs to go into this more defensive cover, maybe drop just 1 safety back in Malik Hartford, stack some more linebackers, and hopefully they can hold him here.
So we'll see 2nd and 6. They call it a gain of 4 on the prior rush. We'll see yet another handoff up the middle. West reads it pretty well. Multiple Firebirds getting back there. Quite a few of the big names leading the way. Is not much of anything in the way of a gain on that rush for the Mason Comets.
Yep, and there West, exactly what we just talked about. Actually, a little better, because instead of doing a cover 1, they played a cover 0. So they had no safeties back, basically 100% predicting they're going to run it, which they did. And they're able to just completely stop the running back, and let's hope they can keep that up.
3rd and 5, so they are going to say they got a yard out of it. So at least they got a little bit more than to the line of scrimmage. But nonetheless, West an incredible job stopping that play. See the Comets get set. Going to fake the handoff, look to throw for the first time in a while to Drew Minnick. Off the hands of the man, that is Jack Ryder. Out there, that pass was intended for him. Drew Minnick doing a pretty good job of covering him, just unable to come down with that ball. Last time we saw them throw, they were obviously being very tentative because of that interception from the other Minnick brother earlier on, and they let that one rip to Drew Minnick, and not much working there.
Yeah, that's just amazing pass protection, really.
We see the punt low line drive. Brendan Remy, as always, the man back to take it. He fumbles it a little bit, then it looks like it'll be out around the 40-yard line of Firebirds territory.
Yeah, and more on that play 2 plays ago. Really, they tried to fake him with the play action, because at this point you're thinking, West is really thinking they're going to run it. And they did by playing another cover 0 difference, because I believe Malik was actually going to play a bit of a cornerback there. And they didn't run it, obviously, as a play action, and Drew Minnick just really good coverage, was able to break up that play. And I guess we're seeing why Mason starts to run the ball a lot more than they pass, because those West defensive backs are looking very, very strong so far.
West almost exactly on the 40-yard line. First down marker spotted at the 50. They were very hot their last time out on the field. They look to continue that. So they end up swapping sides of the field there. See Trent Lloyd, the man, coming across. Once again, that jet sweep handoff. Able to fight back to the line of scrimmage. Mason picking up on it very well.
And that was an interesting play with 4 people in motion and then adding Trent Lloyd into motion right before the snap. Another jet sweep play. Hasn't really been working for West this so far, I'm not going to lie. I think that was maybe their 2nd or 3rd jet sweep, and it really hasn't been functioning for West. So let's hope they try to steer away from those and get the ball into Trent Lloyd's hands a little bit differently, as we saw how they did with that touchdown.
I believe we've had 4, 3 of which have gone for nothing or less. We did see that one right after half, but they did have that one for 6, so maybe hoping for a repeat of that. But to your point, not much working as we see screen pass out there. That's Trent Lloyd working his way down that right side of the field, nearly to the line to gain. Call it a gain of about 9.
Yeah, and just like I said, getting the ball into Trent Lloyd's hands in a different manner works very well. Nice 8-yard gain there, just about. And, oh, looks like you're doing a quick huddle there.
Yeah, West definitely working and hurry up with about a yard to go, maybe trying to catch Mason off guard. We do see Mitch Bolden under center. Maybe a potential QB sneak coming up. It does look like a little bit far for a sneak, but we'll see what the call is. He is staring at that West sideline, maybe waiting for a call. And there he goes back, so he'll be in the shotgun now. It will be Junior Gonzalez, the man out with him. Snap taken, handoff up the middle. Gonzalez finds a hole into Comets territory across the 45-yard line. He got the first, and not only did he get the first, but he got quite a bit more as Lakota West continues to move the rock.
And that was a really nice play call design there. They had a lot of the line shifting to the right and was able to make a very big gap for Brandon Ramey on the left side of that field, especially because one of the linebackers of Mason was actually targeting on the quarterback after the ball was handed off. And that allowed Brandon Ramey to go straight through and get a nice first down, which hope they can give West some momentum and get a touchdown.
So we'll see what Bolton and the West offense draw up for 1st and 10 into Comets territory. Ball will be spotted on the Comets 42-yard line now, under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll see that jet sweep handoff. That's Trent Lloyd, finds a hole, able to work his way downfield to the 30-yard line. So there you go. You say it, and the opposite happens. That's the announcer curse. There is a late flag on the field. So Trent Lloyd did pick up that first down, but that might all now be negated.
Yeah, and I mean, at some point, that jet sweep is going to work. I mean, the jet sweep is a famous play. Like, it is an amazing play call. When it works, it works. And if you try stuff enough, it's going to work eventually, and that's a perfect example of that right here.
We'll see where that penalty goes. It was very late. I would have to assume on Lakota West, maybe an unsportsmanlike, but I'm not quite sure. We do see Brennan Remy looking a little bit upset on that west sideline. Ben Minnick running out in his place. Refs still conferring. See what they decide. Continue their conference. I do want to note that sun's starting to set a little bit early.
Yeah, we unfortunately missed a beautiful sunset here because it basically nearly went straight to dark. But the call from the refs?
And it looks like it'll definitely be backing up Lakota West. When they threw that flag, there wasn't really a doubt in my mind that it was going to be on Lakota West, as it was very late, and it will be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, as it typically is, you know, when you have a late flag like that, especially after a big play. So Lakota West is going to have that first down, but they're essentially right back to where they were after the big Trent Lloyd rush. So essentially just getting a free first down is what we'll call it.
So what I'm hearing in the end, that I was kind of right, the jet sweep doesn't really work.
Yeah, I guess it all comes back to that. Bolden in the shotgun. Trent Lloyd, the back in the backfield, cuts out to the right. Once again, another big rush, a penalty flag down in the backfield. Multiple penalty flags down in the backfield. Nearly to that line to gain, but once again, I have to think it's coming back, and indeed it will be a holding.
Yeah, and that second flag thrown from the ref was really interesting, because as the flag was thrown, the only two people in the backfield were Mitch Bolden and Brandon Ramsey. So I don't really know what the ref saw there, but maybe he just threw the flag late, and you could obviously see quarterback and running back talking with the ref after that throw.
I do want to note, while the refs are backing up the play right now, we do have 212 people watching right now. We want to thank each and every one of you, and we hope you stay with us throughout this year. We have another big one coming up next week. We'll be on the road against Fairfield. That is another big GMC matchup. Could decide a lot, but we got a more intriguing GMC matchup right in front of us right now. It's a close game, 16-7 our score. We'll see a first and very, very long, looks to be about 20, as Bolden going to look to throw. Under pressure, rolls to his right, evades the tackler, ball is out. It looked like Mason dove on it. Do they have it? They seem to think they do. And indeed they do. That sideline going absolutely bananas, as they will now have the ball. I believe that'll be recovered in Lakota West territory. Just a really unfortunate play for Mitch Bolden coughing up the ball.
Yeah, the offensive line really let the pressure get through, and about at least two Mason comments were running straight through that line, straight at Mitch Bolden. Nothing else to do but run forward. Unfortunately, he lost the ball, but there's nothing you can do about it. It was another great play call from Mason, and still somehow creating pressure against Bolden, only rushing 4, which is very, very impressive.
So we do want to note the refs are having a conference at midfield right now. There's no doubt in anybody's mind that that ball was out. That was indeed a fumble. They did get to the bottom of the pile. Maybe it's just a matter of where to spot the ball, but not quite sure what they're conferring about. They are going over to talk with head coach Tom Bolden over on the sideline. I think everybody realizes that it will be Mason ball. But Mitch Bolden and the offense are staying out onto the field. And there is a flag down on that play, so I think they're going to call it back. That offense is staying out. And indeed, that will be a penalty. That is a face mask penalty on the Mason Comets, if I'm not mistaken. So Lakota West, not only does that save them from the fumble, but that moves them forward 15 yards. What an absolute turn of events at Firebird Field. You go from coughing it up, Mason diving on it, to hey, free 15 yards, baby, let's go.
Yeah, we talked about penalties have a huge influence on this game, as West is just backed up around 20 yards from the penalty. Now they move 15 yards forward and keep the ball in a very clutch moment here.
So Bolden going to run with it up the right middle. Able to get about back to the original line of scrimmage that we saw how many plays ago. It seems like things keep changing on every play, but it looks like we'll see about a 2nd and 11 after the fumble that was not a fumble because of a face mask penalty that now moved them to a 1st and 15.
Yeah, and that play there was one of West's favorite play, the QB draw. They do it a lot here. They did it a lot in this next game, if I recall correctly. And it's really just faking a throw to the running back or receiver, trying to draw the defense towards them, then taking Bolden straight up the line.
Bolden and Gonzalez, we like to call them the dynamic duo in the backfield. Bolden looking to pass, rolls to the right, hits Trent Lloyd on the sideline, right around that line to gain. Not quite sure that he crossed it. It looked like he was a bit short from our angle. We'll see where they officially spot it. But worst case scenario, we're looking at a 3rd and short.
And that was a very nice roll out there from Bolden. I don't know. I know we talked about this earlier. I don't think he had to.
So they will give him that first down. It looked like they were originally going to call it 3rd and inches, and then they just decided to move the chains. So after a lot of confusing plays, we finally have our first moving of the chains in quite a while. So a 1st and 10 well into Mason Comet's territory. A big break for Bolden in this West offense.
Yeah, and as I was saying, while it was a great pass and a great catch by Lakota West, Bolden definitely did have some extra time to maybe stay back in the pocket before he had to roll out. But all's well, it ends well. We got a nice first down, and they moved the chains.
So we see both teams huddling up. See what that's all about. Looks like the refs are conferring something back in Firebird's territory.
And these refs are playing a very confusing game, doing a lot of huddles, which is good, you know, making sure they get the calls right, making sure it's a fair contest between two big GMC teams, West and Mason.
Yeah, I mean, at a game this caliber, you really got to make sure you get those calls right. I don't think there's going to be a more important game for Mason all this year. I mean, you could make the argument that it's one of the more important games for West. Obviously, they go into Fairfield next year, so maybe speaking a bit soon. But Mason keeping it competitive for now against one of the best teams they've faced. We'll see a handoff against the Mason defensive line. That was Trent Lloyd taking it up the middle, able to get about half of the chains.
Yeah, and Trent Lloyd's taking a lot of these running plays. He is a very phenomenal running back and wide receiver, very crucial weapon to this Lakota West offense now that he's back off his injury.
Do feel that wind blowing in. You can feel it up here in the box. Gotta wonder maybe if this comes down to a Tyler Bond field goal, what the decision is going to be with that wind.
Yeah, because if it's switching directions from south and north and it's moving towards us, it's very interesting. Yeah.
2nd and 6 officially on the field. See Bolden play action. Takes the handoff to Lloyd. Well overthrown for Brennan Remy on the left side.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it was overthrown, but it could have been underthrown because there was another wide receiver in the area. So we don't really know who Mitch Bolden's target was. We know there was one. We don't really know who, but unfortunately, it was one of very rare mistakes that we see Mitch Bolden doing on his passing game.
It looked like it should have gone to Brennan Remy. I can't tell if that was overthrown by Bolden or maybe miscommunication on Remy's behalf, moving in a little bit too much. Could be either or, but we now have a 3rd down and 6 here. Bolden in the offense looking to continue to move with efficiency. See Bolden looking to pass under pressure, instantly going to be brought down. That's Zachary Black, the junior defensive back, able to get back there and drop Bolden.
Yeah, this Mason's defense is really beating up on this Lakota West offensive line here, getting multiple, just a plethora of sacks, really. Like, it really is impressive. Again, they actually brought the blitz this time, so at least they didn't get sacked only rushing 4. They did bring a blitz, put pressure on the QB, but we really got to see this offensive line shape up a little bit, maybe get Bolden getting his scrambling techniques a little better, but let's see what they can do after they punt the ball away here.
So we do want to note Ben Minnick coming out for the punt. We did see a fake earlier. You got to wonder if Mason's going to be watching that fake a little bit closer this time out. Takes a moment. A very high kick from Ben Minnick. Not quite sure. That looked a little too high to be intentional, but didn't really get a good touch on that one. So out of bounds, not very long. I would assume that would be out around the 25. We'll see where they spot the ball officially, but not a great showing from the Notre Dame man.
Yeah, it's those punts where you're really close to the end zone are very hard because it's not like you can just kick full power and let it, because then it's going to go out the back of the end zone. It's going to be 20-yard line. So what you're really trying to do is trying to pin the Mason offense down, like maybe the 5-yard line, the 10-yard line. So he really takes off a lot of power off the punt. As you can see there, he took off just a little bit too much power, and unfortunately gives very good field position to Mason.
So the Mason offense running out onto the field, ball spotted officially at the 27-yard line of Comet's territory. So we'll see where they decide to go. Brown back to pass under pressure, being chased by multiple Firebirds, throws it away towards the west sideline, well incomplete.
Look at that, Mason's starting to pass again. So maybe you see a lot more exciting second half here from Mason. And before that play, they had 3 men in motion, which is very interesting. And yeah, just very great pass protection there from West, not allowing the Mason receivers to get open. And actually, West only rushed 3 that time. Very interesting there to break the line, only rushing 3. Very impressive from the defensive lineman there.
Hey, got to wonder, maybe that's something they picked up in the film room, because they've been obviously going run heavy on the defense all game long, and then that time, maybe seeing a little something different. We'll see a 2nd and 10 on the way. Brown the handoff up the middle, maybe picking up on that 3-man rush as they're able to get about 3 on that carry up the middle.
Yeah, it was very nice. They read that beautifully. The safeties really, I think it might have been a cover 1, probably cover 0. And as soon as that ball is handed off, they get in there, linebackers. Nice tackle for a very short gain.
So we'll see a 3rd and 6 or 7 on the way. This West defense looking to go 3 and out to start the second half off strong. So we'll see Brown under center, multiple men in the backfield. Man in motion is Braden Greer. Brown back, pass looks deep downfield for Greer. It is caught. Did he have feet in bounds? It looked, he did come down with it. Are they going to say he had that? I believe that is incomplete. I do not believe he got a foot down.
Yeah, and West going there with the 2 linebacker look, still able to create pressure. He was actually, the quarterback was actually being hit as he thrown it. And I think he came down with the ball. He just caught it out of bounds as the out of bounds ref was signaling.
So we'll see the punt team come out for Mason. Instantly blocked! Multiple men back there. Ben Minnick able to scoop it up, falls down at the 5-yard line. A big-time special teams play. Absolutely incredible, and the Notre Dame man keeps coming up big. I know he had that unfortunate punt. You look at everything else he's done today. The fake punt, the interception, now helps block and scoop up that ball. West now in prime touchdown position.
Ben Minnick is having an amazing game today. Like, absolutely, like, S-tier level game today. And he's not the only person very happy with this team so far. Mr. Nickel, the special teams coach, is probably having a delight out there watching his special teams just get these amazing plays done.
Yeah, and every time Ben Minnick has a great game, you know I have to shout out our Notre Dame man, Kevin Sinclair, tuning on into the broadcast every week. He's been an absolutely incredible supporter for us. Bolden under pressure, gets it to Gonzalez. Looks like about back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of about half a yard.
Yeah, and there was very great eyes from the quarterback, Mitch Balding, getting that ball off to not be sacked and at least getting the ball back to the line of scrimmage there. Because as he's basically being hit with hands in his face, he's able to get a very nice, accurate throw off number 24 there. So, very clutch throw there.
Yeah, so we've had a huge shift in momentum over the past few plays. Things have just been crazy down here. It seemed like he was holding on to that ball a bit long. Ben able to get back there, obviously, and now this offensive drive for Lakota West, their biggest drive of the game by far. First down not going too well. That pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. I believe that was Liam Green at the line of scrimmage batting that one down.
Yeah, good play from Mason. And I do want to take this time to mention West is looking very aggressive. As to Mason, who's, lining up with maybe 2 receivers and a lot of people on the line, West is consistently coming out with 4 wide receivers on the line of scrimmage, showing that, yes, we are a team. We want to pass the ball. And it's been working so far, like getting some really nice big gains here.
You do want to note 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It is a 3rd and 9 upcoming for the Firebirds. It is a goal-to-go situation. Bolden going to find Gonzalez, dumps it off, easy across the goal line. Gonzalez can walk it in. Another 6 points for Lakota West.
And I was just talking about how they love to stack all those wide receivers and running backs. When you have that many people that can make those catches, you just don't really know who to double cover, who to focus your coverage on. And somebody's bound to get open, just like Gonzalez did right there. He was left completely uncovered, runs in for a nice Lakota West touchdown.
22-7. We had a close ball game at half. Lakota West starting to pull away now. I think going back to the chairs, I mean, our thoughts are with whatever chair was broken, because clearly there was one. As we see Tyler Bond looking to make it a 23-7 ball game, and indeed he does. Absolutely drills that PAT. 23-0 our score. We're going to take a quick step aside. We got 12 minutes and 14 seconds of action left in this ball game. Mason looking to keep it close. West looking to continue to dominate. We'll be right back. Tyler Bond, the southpaw, getting ready to boot this one away. 14 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 23-7 our score. Your Firebirds leading the Mason Comets here big time. We had a 10-7 ball game coming out of the half, and everything since then has seemed to gone in Lakota West's favor.
I mean, the only thing that really hasn't was the very unfortunate fake PAT, but there's nothing really you can do about that.
Yeah, it could be a 25-7 ball game. Unfortunately, it is not, but that big block punt from the Notre Dame commit, Ben Minnick, absolutely turning the tide of this game. You see a low line drive kick from Tyler Bond taken at the 5-yard line. Some room to run with it, gets it about to the 20, maybe a little bit past up to the 21-22.
Yeah, that was a really nice place kick by Tyler Bond. The only thing that really he could do differently, if he gets it just a little bit higher, gives the West players a little more time to get down the field to make the tackle. That's really the only thing, but the placement was really perfect because that's where you really want to put them. Do not give them the option to make the touchback. Make them run it out. See if you can stop them before the 20-yard line.
Looks like it'll be about the 22 2/3 yard line. Not quite out to the 23. With 9 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play, Mason probably only has time for about one play unless it's an incomplete pass. We will see a pass towards the west sideline. Picked off! Malik Hartford, the OSU commit. Pick 6, Malik Hartford, and what a ball game we are seeing right now. Absolutely stunning down here at Lakota West.
And yeah, they only had 2 wide receivers there, Mason, so there's only 2 people to coverage. So as soon as you see it's not a run, there's only 2 people that the quarterback can throw to at that point. Malik, again, read the quarterback's eyes brilliantly, was able to get in front of that ball and just make an amazing pick 6, 0 seconds on the clock.
I think everybody here is still processing what exactly we've seen over the past few plays. We went from 10-7 to what, 29-7 now here within how many seconds? So it can potentially be a 30-7 ball game. We do have to kick the extra point, but what a change in events we have seen. By far one of the more fun games we've seen down here all year long. We do want to note we are out of time in the third quarter, so when we come back, it will be the fourth quarter of play. So Mason starting to run out of time. The game is not fully put away yet. And that one drilled even farther than the last one. So 30-7 our score. We're going to take a quick step aside. We still got 12 minutes to play. The full fourth quarter ahead. Lakota West up 30-7. And we are back after the Malik Hartford pick 6 to completely flip everything down here at Firebird Field. We did switch sides of the field. We are now in the final 12 minutes to play. 30-7 is our score. As we mentioned before the break, we went from 10-7 to 23-7 to now 30-7 after the first play, pick 6 out of that block punt touchdown.
Yeah, Malik Hartford is just showing amazing talent today, showing why he's committed to OSU as a 4-star athlete. He really just has great eyesight on the quarterback, really able to read those quarterback eyes. Earlier in the game, he was able to break a pass. This time he gets a pick 6 out of it, so amazing job by Malik Hartford today.
Up and away from the 25-yard line, squib kick from Tyler Bond. Fumbled a little bit, he ends up falling on the ball. The ball's out! Does West have it? They say that they do. And it is Lakota West ball. Lakota West coming away with the ball. We do apologize, our mic shorting out a little bit there in the celebration, but Lakota West able to fall on it. Aaron Cayo able to come up with the ball, number 50 in that pile. So we went from block punt, turned to a touchdown, pick six from Malik Hartford, to now a fumble on the kickoff, scooped up by Lakota West. Ball spotted now on the Comets' 40-yard line.
And interesting enough, during the pregame, we saw Tyler Bond practicing that squib kick a lot. And as you see, apparently it worked because he was able to get that squib kick in very quick. Hard for the kick returner to make a good hold on it, and it worked out very well for West.
So we do see Bolden looking to pass still. Not going to resort to the run just yet, although he does scramble up the middle, gets quite a bit out of it, about 9 yards out of 10.
Yeah, so Bolden there, he had a lot of time there. He was waiting and waiting for a receiver to get open. Eventually, no receiver got open. Saw a hole in the offensive line, said, you know what, I'll run straight through, get a nice 9-yard gain.
So it will be 2nd and 1. Well, not quite to the line again. It would have been nice to have that first down, but maybe resorting to running the clock instead with this 2nd and 1. You got to wonder if that opens up the play calling ability a little bit more. See Trent Lloyd coming across the field, jet sweep to the right side, cuts it back up the middle, picks up the first by quite a bit, able to fight down to the 25-yard line of Comets territory. See,
you know what I'm going to say. I kind of disagree with that play call, especially on 2nd and 1, running the jet sweep. Personally, for me, on 2nd and short, I think always taking a shot at the end zone maybe. You know, because you know that on 3rd down you can probably pick it up. So taking a shot at the end zone is usually worth it. And they go with the jet sweep, which is, you know, not one of my favorite plays, but it is what it is. They got the first down.
First down officially from the 25-yard line. Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining, but might be all for naught if you're Mason, because Lakota West knocking on the door of another score. That pass to the left side, not going to go for very much. That was Scotty Johnson on the reception.
Yeah, that was a nice catch by Scotty. Slightly underthrown by Mitch Bolden, but, you know, he had multiple linebackers and defensive linemen in his face, so still able to get the throw off. And look at that. Luca's now come into the game for tight ends.
Yeah, you know, we haven't seen a whole lot from him this year. Obviously, this Firebirds team very hopeful that he can be something in the future, but this year we saw his name high up on the depth chart week 1. We just haven't really seen him very much, so maybe, I don't want to call it garbage time, but when you're up a fairly decent amount, maybe try and get him involved. You see Trent Lloyd on the rush there. Breaks inside the 20, across the 15, nearly to the 10, but he's able to pick up the first down on 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that was a very nice run play from Trent Lloyd. And we talk about Luca. Luca had a very crucial block there on the right side of that line that made sure that no Mason guy got through that line to tackle Lloyd. And that block by Luca caused a very nice gain by Lloyd there.
Knocking on the door of getting inside the 10. There will be a first down placed at the 3-yard line, so not quite a goal scenario. In fact, much better now, because if you get down closer to that goal line, it opens up a new set of downs. You see Bolden looking to pass instantly under pressure, looking to get rid of it, and indeed he does. Under a whole lot of pressure there from Malachi Reed of that Mason Comets defense. Looked like he went unblocked.
Yeah, pass pressure there was just really good, as it has been the entire game. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like it was the blitz by Mason. So very nice of Bolden to realize it was a blitz, fall back in the pocket, and really get that throw off before he got sacked. Because when you have Mason rushing, it looked like 6 to 7 people, you really want to make sure you don't take a loss and at least just get an incomplete pass out.
So West still huddling up, talking about what they're going to run, and it looks like we have a timeout on the field. Indeed, it will be a a timeout for Lakota West. So they now have 2 remaining. They currently lead 30-7. So maybe they wanted to take a look at Mason's defense or a little bit of miscommunication there. What do you think they call that for?
Yeah, you know, at this point in the game, they're probably just like, you know, we've been running very aggressive. 4 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers all game. Maybe now that we're this close to the goal line, this little time on the clock, maybe we start running the ball more. Maybe we take a little more wide receivers off. Personally, I hope they don't, because I like seeing this exciting offense, you know, stacking this many of their talented wide receivers on the line. But I doubt they'll continue to do that, especially being up this far, this late into the 4th quarter.
9:19 on the clock. They currently lead by 23. If they punch it in here, it would be a 30-point lead. Potentially could have a running clock in a game that was 10-7 coming at a half. See Bolden take the snap. Looks to pass. Pressure from the blind side. Looks for Remy. Jump ball caught in the corner of the end zone. An incredible pass under pressure. An incredible grab. Bolden a little slow getting up there. But what a play all around. Just incredible from the receiving to the throw. I don't think he could have drawn up something better.
I mean, well, I stand corrected. I'm like, you know, maybe they'll run the clock out. No, 4 wide receivers really pushing this pass down Mason's throat, and it works out so well there. Bolden, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Getting an amazing pass off while being hit from the blind side. That is so impressive, especially from high school level quarterback like him.
Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up, and it is good. So 37-7 now our score, a 30-point ball game, and what was a 3-point ball game. An incredible turn of the tides. We got 9:13 left in the ball game. West up very convincingly now, but stick with us. We got a lot of action on the way. So we are back a little early from the break. With all the action going on in the 3rd quarter, we forgot to give away that gift card. We never really had a time to come on and give it away, so we do have that trivia question. First to answer correctly, send us a screenshot in our DMs on Twitter. If you do not follow us on Twitter, at LWHSBC on Twitter, we will be looking in the chat. And your question for today is, what was the score of Mason's one and only loss against Lincoln in Week 1? The first person to correctly put that score in the chat will win a $15 Buffalo Wings and Rings gift card, courtesy of Buffalo Wings and Rings at Westchester. Be sure to head on over after the game for an incredible post-game meal. But for now, we got an incredible game in front of us. 37-7 our score. Bond able to boot this one away, taking out about the 5. Up the middle, brought down just shy of the 25-yard line, around the 23. And we'll see this Mason offense for the first time in what feels like forever.
Yeah, so I'm really curious how the defense of Lakota West is going to look here. If they're going to continue playing that run defense, that pass defense, really just going to see how they're going to line up their safeties, how many linebackers they're going to bring on the field here. I'm really curious. They're probably going to stick with what's been working kind of, you know, taking out those 2 linebackers, taking a couple safeties down the field, just in case they throw the ball. But we obviously have to watch out for the run, especially when they're only lining up 2 receivers as they are right now.
And we do want to note we do have a winner on that gift card giveaway already, so if you would, please take a screenshot of that and DM us on Twitter at LWHSBC so we can get you your $15 gift card. That run up the middle, not going to go for much. Looks like about a loss of maybe a half a yard, maybe a full yard, so we'll see a 2nd and long.
Yeah, they just answered my question there. They are going to continue. It looks like, actually, they actually did play a pass defense. They're only taking 2 linebackers back, or 2 linebackers on the field. But as we see it still works out very well as the defensive line was able to break up that offensive line and a lot of linebackers get through to make the tackle.
2nd and 9 officially, so they're going to say he actually fought for a yard on that one. It looked like from our angle he was well behind the line of scrimmage, so not quite sure where they put him with the forward progress there. But regardless, they did get spotted with a yard of gain. We'll see yet another handoff, even with the clock running. Going to stick with that run game.
Yeah, at this point, it looks like Mason's going back to Old Faithful. You know, they're like, well, you know, we ran the ball, got a touchdown. We started passing, gave up some huge touchdowns, including a pick 6. They're like, why don't we just go back to running the ball? And I would say, okay, sure. But at this point in the game, down this much, only 7.5 minutes, running the ball, you're not going to get to the end zone as many times as you have to tie or get back in the lead of this game. So I don't know what Mason's plan here is going forward, but let's hope West can stop him no matter what it is.
So 3rd and 5, we did see Elijah Davis, one of the key pieces on that West defensive line, trot off the field. So if they were to run that ball, that would be a key loss to have on the sideline. But they do end up passing it. We do want to note that this is not Larson Brown, that is Quinnen Kaler, and he is brought down instantly. Micah Markley getting back there on the sack. So a switch in quarterback, they put him back there just to get brought down by an absolute powerhouse of a defense.
Yeah, and that was a blitz there by West, rushing at least, looks like 7 there, nearly 8, because they only had 2 wide receivers lining up. They only needed really 2 cornerbacks and a safety back there to protect them. So they were able to rush 7 to 8 and just completely destroy the defensive line, get there for a crucial sack, and they're going to get the ball back here.
We see a punt mobile this time, not going to let it get blocked. Hits the turf at about the 50. Brennan Remy scoops it, gets it right back to the 50. A return of about 10 yards. And Lakota West comes out with 6:13 on the clock. They lead by 30. And we've seen this offense a complete shift since the first half.
Yeah, it's just amazing what they've been able to do since that halftime break. I mean, they really haven't changed up their scheme that much. They've just been able to execute it a lot better. You know, they've continued to have 4 wide receivers. And, I mean, they're really just destroying this Mason defense at the moment, which looked to be so impressive early on.
So West going to take the ball now under 6 minutes to play. We'll see a handoff to the left side. That'll be number 29, Cordell Atkins, running to the left side. And we do want to note that even though it was a rush, the clock will be running regardless because a 30-point lead for Lakota West. And, you know, in a game that was 10-7, pretty surprising to see a running clock. But, you know, you do appreciate it. West heading into this game, everyone expected a big win. I have no idea what was going on in the first half there. We will go and talk to the coaches down on the field, say what they have, see what they have to tell us. As we'll now see one of our favorites, Davion McCoy, working his way into the ball game. Down to the Comets' 40-yard line.
Yeah, and if I had $1 for every time you said the score is 10-7, I feel like I'd be a millionaire at this point. It's an interesting fact to bring up. It really is. It really just shows, like, I mean, we already talked about that poor chair, but I feel like, you know, if breaking a chair results in this offense, break as many chairs as you want, because this offense in the second half has been so explosive and so fun and exciting to watch. I'll take this any day of the week, really.
So as you can tell from the past few rushes, the bench for West kind of seems to be emptied by now, so we do see Nolan Parker in the game. We have seen him a couple times this year, kind of preparing for the future, taking Mitch Bolden out of the game, letting Nolan get a few snaps. We still see Cordell Atkins making a push for the line to gain up the middle. Not quite sure if he got it or not. It looks like they're going to call it 4th down. Not quite sure where forward progress got him on that one.
Yeah, the refs did call it. It looks like short by about half a yard. And definitely looks like West has come to this 3-minute offense here. Running the clock out, running the ball a lot, and let's hope they can convert this.
Yeah, they do make the interesting choice of going for it. Guess with half a yard, you got to take your chances. There's Davion McCoy. Powering forward to the left side. He did look like he got dragged around the line. And that ball, I believe, is going the other way. So Davion McCoy not able to pick it up. It looked promising at first, but we're going to see a Comets ball.
That's really interesting, because at least up here from the commentary box, it looked like he got that first down by quite a sum. I don't really, we must have a bad angle here, but, you know, it is what it is, and Mason's going to get the ball back with 3.5 to go.
It is unfortunate, but like you said, 3.5, it truly is 3.5. The clock really isn't going to stop, so I think we can chalk this one up a Lakota West win.
Yeah, it's been an interesting game so far, as you said, 10-7 just at halftime, and Lakota West making an explosive, regain.
Just a reminder, you can check out all our post-game interviews on our Twitter at LWHSBC. And plugging it a little bit in the fourth quarter, you can find all kinds of exclusive content over there. We do encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel while you are here. Just got over 1,000 subscribers the other week, so we're very happy with all the interaction we've had across the community, all the support and backing that we've had as this game starts to come to a close.
Yeah, and what's nice about YouTube is you can actually view all of our past streams, including the pep rally stream that just happened today. We had an amazing pep rally to get not only the football team, but all of Lakota West High School hyped up and ready for this game.
Yeah, and some of our broadcasters taking part of that. Myself and Grant Hageman included. We did mention earlier, Grant unable to be with us. So if you're just joining us, Lucas Moody up in the box as our analyst. And that run going well across the line to gain. That'll be a Comets first down.
Yeah, and it looks like they actually did line up a lot of wide receivers on the line there, so maybe even like faking West out, like, hey, no, we're going to actually try to pass it. But like they didn't. They did not pass it, and they ran. And I think they caught West off guard a little bit there, and they were able to get the first down out of it.
We can see all the neon shirts leaving the West sideline. They know this game is over. Now under 2 minutes to go. We do not have a 2-minute warning in high school. So everybody working their way out. They do have the big homecoming dance. They got to get home. They got a big day ahead of them tomorrow. Very fun weekend here at Lakota West as that pass is going to bounce incomplete.
Yeah, and that was just not a very good pass there by the quarterback. Misses his man by a little bit. And, yeah, this game is, as a minute and a half on the clock left, it's really coming to an end here. Yeah.
Yeah, now under 1:30, that clock just keeps running. I don't think Mason going to get anywhere near that end zone. They keep running the ball. It is now 2nd and 10 after that pass that hit the turf. Close to under a minute to go. Mason has not yet pulled the starters. They run up the middle. They did have that quarterback switch, Quentin Kaler entering the ball game for Mason. They've gone back and forth between those quarterbacks all year, so maybe this a potential factor in deciding who goes forward as the quarterback for Mason.
Yeah, and it looks like West is starting to pick up that, they're going to start running the ball a lot here because they brought in 3 linebackers for those last couple of plays, which is very, very nice because it shows that they're able to predict what the offense is going to do before it actually happens. And speaking of the offense, they're looking very, very exhausted and tired out, not very motivated at the moment.
30 seconds left. We'll see how many plays we see out of the Comets. Maybe they go 1 and then we're done. Maybe they run more, but we will see a flag there. Neutral zone infraction, pretty clear. West not really hiding that one. They jumped that pretty well.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's really not going to affect the game too much, but it's really just not good because you really want to, keep the teams, penalty-free.
And even on the penalty, the clock keeps rolling. Now under 5 seconds, they're going to get the snap off, handoff. Final play of the game. See where the run goes. They open up a hole, and he's dragged down out of bounds. So that's the ball game. 37-7 our final. We kept saying it. It was 10-7 at half. Lakota West turns it into a running clock ball game. We thank all of you for tuning along here at the Lakota West Student Broadcasting Club YouTube page. Please subscribe. Go follow us on Twitter. We got some exclusive content from Nick Johnson, Lucas Moody, Dimitri Fizik, and everybody else up here, all the crew up in the booth. Thank you for tuning in. Stay with us throughout this year. We got a lot more up and coming. We hope you enjoyed, and as always, go Firebirds.